There are some scientific challenges so difficult that people eventually started calling them impossible. For more than 100 years, mathematicians tried everything they could, but still failed to solve one of these problems. And then, just a few months ago, an AI stepped in and achieved what no human mind had ever managed to do. That breakthrough opened the door to discoveries that could transform how we predict weather, design aircraft, and even understand the very foundations of physics in our universe. For decades, progress on this problem was completely stuck. Mathematicians kept trying, but the equations refused to give up their secrets. The challenge was so famous and so unsolvable that it was included in the list of the 7 Millennium Prize Problems. Solving even one of these earns you $1 million prize. That's how impossible they were believed to be. But now, an AI created by DeepMind has done the unthinkable. It didn't just calculate faster than humans, it discovered entirely new solutions to these equations, solutions that leading mathematicians later confirmed to be correct. To truly grasp how extraordinary this is, we have to step back for a moment. At the core of this mystery are the Navier Stokes equations. These equations describe how fluids, like air, water, and gases, flow and behave. If you've ever watched smoke spiraling upward from a candle, or felt the turbulence while flying in a plane, you've seen the Navier Stokes equations at work. They're a type of math called partial differential equations, PDES, and they're notoriously hard to solve. What makes them especially brutal is something called singularities, also known as blow-ups. That's when values like pressure or velocity suddenly shoot up to infinity in the math. Of course, we don't see infinite pressure or speed in real life, but these blow-ups reveal the limits of the equations and help scientists understand where their models begin to break down. The question of whether these singularities actually exist in the three-dimensional Navier Stokes system has puzzled scientists for more than 150 years. To understand how fundamental this problem is, consider its impact. Weather forecasting, aircraft design, naval engineering, and even astrophysics all depend on it. Better models of fluid dynamics could lead to more fuel-efficient airplanes, more reliable climate predictions, and even new insights into how planets form. In short, the stakes here are enormous. DeepMind tackled this problem with a completely fresh strategy. Instead of brute-forcing endless simulations on supercomputers, they used graph neural networks combined with physics-informed neural networks, known as PINNs. Unlike traditional neural networks that rely only on massive datasets, PINNs are trained directly on the fundamental equations themselves. Their predictions are constantly cross-checked against what physics dictates should actually happen. By minimizing the residual, the tiny difference between what the AI predicts and what the equations require, the system gets closer and closer to a true solution. The outcome was nothing short of revolutionary. This machine learning model revealed entirely new families of singularities, phenomena that had never been documented before. Mathematicians from New York University, Brown University, and Stanford later stepped in to test the findings. They confirmed that the AI's solutions were mathematically sound, not just some computational trick or error. In other words, this wasn't an AI hallucination. It was a genuine, verifiable scientific discovery.
And perhaps most intriguing of all, the AI uncovered hidden patterns inside these blow-ups, patterns that could reshape how we understand fluid behavior itself. When fluids blow up in the equations, you can measure how fast it happens using a number called lambda. DeepMind's system spotted something remarkable. As these singularities became more unstable, a surprisingly clear pattern emerged when plotting lambda against the order of instability. The number of different ways the solution could drift away from the blow-up. They observed this not only in the incompressible porous media equations, but also in the Boussinesq equations, and of course, the legendary Navier Stokes equations. That regularity hints at something bigger, a vast, hidden landscape of other singularities still waiting to be uncovered. And the story only gets more fascinating from here. The singularities discovered by the AI weren't stable. In this context, stability means Does a singularity survive even if you tweak the setup slightly? A stable singularity is robust. Nudge the conditions, and it still appears. But an unstable singularity is fragile. It only exists under incredibly precise conditions. For decades, mathematicians have suspected that in the boundary-free, three-dimensional Euler and Navier Stokes equations, stable singularities simply don't exist. That's why finding unstable ones is such a breakthrough. Yes, they may look delicate, but they expose profound truths about the very structure of these equations. And the level of accuracy the AI achieved here is nothing short of astonishing. We're talking about errors so tiny, researchers compared it to calculating the diameter of Earth and being off by only a few centimeters. That's the scale of precision we're dealing with. To reach this level, the team relied on advanced machine learning techniques, including second-order optimizers during training. This pushed the neural networks closer to machine precision than anyone thought was even possible. And that's what allowed the AI to capture such subtle, elusive solutions. Solutions that traditional mathematical methods could never reach. The visuals they released make this much easier to understand. For instance, they mapped out vorticity fields, essentially showing how much the fluid is spinning at every single point. You can actually watch these unstable singularities evolve, slice through them in one-dimensional sections, and see the progression as instability increases. These kinds of detailed views simply weren't possible before. Of course, DeepMind didn't do this in isolation. They worked closely with mathematicians and geophysicists from top universities to validate the results and anchor them in established theory. That's why this discovery is being treated as a serious scientific breakthrough, not just another flashy AI headline. What makes this historic is that AI is stepping in as a research partner, pointing mathematicians towards solutions that human minds alone couldn't reach. Yangji Wang, one of the lead researchers, put it very directly. By embedding mathematical intuition into these neural networks and pushing them to extreme precision, they transformed PINNs from mere problem-solving tools into actual engines of discovery. This fundamentally changes how mathematical proofs are done. Traditionally, math has been built on logic and human creativity, with computers maybe helping with tedious checks. But now, with AI in the mix, we're entering a new era of computer-assisted mathematics. These systems can explore vast landscapes of equations that humans could never fully navigate, flag promising solutions, and then leave it to human experts to verify and formalize the proof. And the implications stretch far beyond pure mathematics. In meteorology, this could sharpen storm and climate forecasts. In aeronautics, it could help cut turbulence and reduce fuel use. And in astrophysics, it ties directly to phenomena like black hole accretion disks and interstellar gases. At the same time, it marks a turning point. AI is now stepping into the heart of fundamental science, taking on problems that resisted human effort for centuries and expanding the limits of what research can achieve. Of course, with breakthroughs like this, there's always a mix of excitement and unease. Because when AI starts solving problems that were once labeled impossible, it shows both the extraordinary potential and the inherent risks of the technology. Leaders in the tech world, like Vitalik Buterin, have already raised concerns about how to guide AI development responsibly. The fear is that the same power that can open scientific frontiers could also spiral in directions we don't fully control. But for now, the focus is on what just happened. A century-old mystery in fluid dynamics cracked wide open by AI, leading to discoveries that mathematicians have already confirmed as valid. A challenge once dismissed as impossible has now become a playground for machine learning models. And that's not hype. It genuinely feels like the beginning of a new era. Alright, that's everything I've got for today. If you found this as fascinating as I did, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Thanks for watching.